Hi lovely peeps, it's Jess. Welcome back to the Archenchanter's Wand. I am trying to bring myself back, putting on the incense, trying to bring myself back down to earth, ground myself, take a bit of time for myself, and finally get to grips with this deck. I didn't want to work with this deck too much before I showed you, like unboxed it with you. I've read the little journal, the manual, the white book that comes with it, but I'm super excited about it, and I really want to delve into it so I can start working with it because I'm in love. So this is the Red Seeds Tarot. As you already know, I'm a huge fan of the Oracle decks. I have them all. The Eleusinian Mysteries by Linda Hill, who is in Devon. This is how it came. We've got a little, she always sends tea, and I love the fact that she's found a pomegranate tea to go with her red seeds. I love it. I can't wait. I'm going to go and brew that in a minute. A little, I think, is this barley or wheat? I'm not sure what it is. I get confused with what's what, but I love it. And I'm going to keep that now. I'm going to put this, I'll put it here, put it here. I'm going to keep that. Love. Thanks, Linda. And then this, which I did open because I was super curious, but I wanted you guys to see how everything came. It's a little pomegranate charm on a red thread, which looks like it's naturally dyed as well, which is super cool. So that's gorgeous, and that's going to stay here too because I love it. Super thankful. Okay, so I'm going to put the cards aside for a minute so we can go through, because this tarot deck, the majors are based on the mysteries of, or the story of Demeter and Persephone. So, just so we've got to grips with it a little bit, I wanted to read to you these couple of pages. The tale. The young maiden Kor was picking flowers in a field when she was suddenly abducted by Hades, god of the underworld. Demeter, her mother, was devastated and searched the land for 9 days looking for her daughter. She did not find her. Helios, the sun god, told her that Persephone was in the underworld. Demeter was mortified, and so she withdrew her powers from the earth, which started to die, and the people began to starve. The Great Mother was asked many times by the gods to stop the devastation, but she refused. Only when her daughter was by her side once again would she consider changing her mind. Meanwhile, in the underworld, Persephone shared the seeds of a pomegranate with Hades. This act ensured that she would become Hades' queen, for those who ate in Hades had to reside there for eternity. Knowing this, Demeter surrendered and accepted a compromise. Persephone would ascend to the upper world in springtime to be with her mother, and descend to the underworld in autumn to reign as queen of the underworld with her husband Hades. Demeter is the harvest, Persephone is the seed, Hades is the rich, fertile earth between our feet. So this sort of sounds like the start of the seasons, how the seasons came about as well. So the Eleusinian Mysteries, and this is so interesting, and thankfully Linda has provided a bibliography and references in the back, which I've looked up if you already and have been reading about them, and it's so interesting, and I'm so happy that this has prompted further learning on my part as well. There are 2 stages of the mysteries. The lesser mysteries took place in February for 1 week a year. Attendance to these rites was a prerequisite before admittance to the greater mysteries was granted. The Red Seeds Tarot travels through the greater mysteries, which were the most famous initiation rites to be held in ancient Greece. They were held annually at the time of September full moon and lasted nearly 2,000 years, from 1500 BCE until 396 CE, when the temple was destroyed. It is thought that the mysteries were almost certainly influenced by Egyptian and Cretan rites and beliefs. Anyone could take part in the rituals, no matter what gender or status they held. However, no one could attend if they had committed a blood crime. In earlier times, only those who spoke Greek could attend. However, people were soon welcomed to attend from all over the world. The Greek philosophers such as Plato, Socrates, Plutarch and Sophocles were all initiated, and most of the Roman emperors were too. All who attended took an oath of secrecy to never reveal the secrets of the mysteries. The greater mysteries were spread over 10 days and started in Athens, where the Mysti would take part in the purification rites to prepare for their upcoming journey of initiation. A 14-mile promenade procession then travelled the Sacred Way, which led to the Eleusinian Sanctuary, a complex of shrines and temples. Here the Mysti would take part in the rituals which mirrored the myth of Demeter and Persephone. On the final day, the initiation took place inside the Telesterion, Demeter's temple, which was situated at the centre of the sanctuary. It is said that the Mysti somehow face the experience of death and darkness of the self in the underworld. There is no doubt that the Mysti underwent a powerful cathartic event which seems to have had the power to transform all who experienced it. The ancient Greeks saw the mysteries as being essential for humanity and believed that they held the human race together. I came out of the mystery hall feeling like a stranger to myself. Sopatos. So, the major arcana cards are based on the greater mysteries, and we have a few name changes here. The Fall for the Tower, which is on the front of the deck. This is the Fall card. The Pharmacus for the Magician. The Hanged Goddess. The World Soul is the World, and the Epitaph. So, the structures of the Seed Tarot, we have the bees for the air, the torches for fire, the vessels for water, the seeds for earth. I love the fact that she's included the acrophonic numerals here and on the cards. And instead of Page, Knight, Queen, King, we have Seer, Seeker, Queen, King. I believe they still sort of are RWS based from what I know up until this point, but I'm happy to be proven wrong if that's, you know, if that's not the case. The Inner Temple Spread, the Arcanas, and then it goes into a page per card. So we have the myth, the mysteries, and the soul journey for all the majors. And then if you look here on the edge, we can see with the yellows are the bees, which we have the bees, the mysteries, the soul journey. The torches are red, the vessels are blue, and it's got a little part about each element at the beginning. And the seeds are green. And then we have the bibliography at the back, which I'm so thankful for. So that's a nice chunky book, which I'm really happy about. I'm really, really excited to have a look at these beautiful cards. I'm going to see if I can zoom in. So these are the backs with the wheat. We've got the wheat here, which I love. So happy about that. It's not often you get a natural gift in a deck. I am the seed, I am rebirth, I am Demeter, I am the harvest, I am life, I am Hades, I am the rich fertile earth, I am death, I am Persephone, I am the seed, I am rebirth, I am Demeter. It goes on and on. Love these backs. They're not reversible, but I love them. They are beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to put them down so I don't get myself all caught up. Do I need to lower the... There we go. So the Misties, which is the equivalent of the Fool. Jumping, we still have the cliff here, and the mountains in the background, the blindfold, the bird, Not sure what she's holding there, some sort of plant. The pharmacus. She's got this key around her neck. And we seem to have like Mother Maiden Crone vibes going on here. The snake at her feet, the bees in the background. I love the fact that, oh sorry, this is the magician. I love the fact that the bees are included in this deck. I love their symbology. Although I always associated them more with Artemis. So I don't know whether I've got that right, but there's a big sort of Artemis vibe going on with the swords in this deck. The High Priestess with the fish, the pomegranates. She still has the towers. The Great Mother. The Lord. The Hierophants, plural, love it. The Lovers. Let me see if I can refocus this. I feel like I've got a bit of glare going on. There. 3 lovers. And one that looks pretty upset, although this is both feminine and male. So it's the union of archetypes as well as the lovers. The Chariot. I love this swift movement going on, although she looks like she's just given in to whatever is going on. She's not necessarily controlling this. Going along for the ride. Justice. These are these the Fates, maybe. The Hermit. I'm going to look up Justice. I'm intrigued as to what's going on here. Justice. Oh, okay, so we've got a few. They relate to various divinities. Okay. Demeter and Hecate came upon the sun god Helios, he who sees everything, and asked him if he knew what had happened to Kor. He revealed that Zeus and Hades had plotted her abduction and taken her down into the underworld. A formidable anger, pain, and sense of injustice raged through Demeter's heart. She wanted nothing more to do with the gods, so she hid her beauty and divinity by disguising herself as an old woman. Her excruciating wrath compelled her to refuse the crops to grow. The earth withered. There was no harvest, no food for the mortals until justice was seen to be done. The earth began to die. So here we go. Erinys Telphusia was the name for the wrathful part of Demeter, embodying her dark fury and slaughter of the earth. The Erinys were the goddesses of justice and retribution in the underworld. Okay, so there were 3 of them. And served Hades and Persephone. They personify the might of rage, retribution that Demeter held at this time. The Mysti fasted as they reflected on the famine and the wrath that has arisen from Demeter's sense of injustice. Okay, let's carry on. Somewhere in our life, we may be feeling the need for justice and are demanding resolution, balance, and integrity. We may be angry. Do we need to explore our own actions and opinions prior to handling out harsh judgments? Have we been unjust? If so, where does that arise from? Our shadow holds our unconscious rage. We are encouraged to find our own truth and to be truthful with ourselves in all things. We may become involved in legalities or need to find resolution in areas of our life that have broken down. This is an unjust world that creates immense inequality in many parts of society. We all have a responsibility to help create a better world in whichever way we can. So that's nice. This the Erinyes, but it also looks like the helping and the compassion required to find. It also looks like the resolution, doesn't it? Or the working towards the resolution, which is nice. I'm pretty sure in here Linda says that she sees the major arcana as a collective. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Okay, collective unconscious. The major arcana connects us to the unconscious, collective unconscious, a place in rich symbols, images, memories, patterns, dreams, and instincts. And then the minor arcana, each suit holds the element within its archetypal imagery and links us to our own personal conscious self. Okay. I'm going to move on. The Hermit. He's beautiful. The Wheel. What's going on in the Wheel? Hold on for dear life. Hold on with your everything. Strength. I love the Strength card. That's lovely. The Hanged Goddess. Death. Bless, that's a sweet card. Temperance. Beautiful. I think this is in the Oracle deck as well. I mean, obviously, because they're all gods and goddesses, right? Temperance is Iris. And she is I am alchemy. Okay, so that's interesting as well. It's got here, I am the light. So we see these cards in the oracles as well, but under a different guise for the affirmation. The Devil. It's got a lock here, look, ready to chain you up. The Fall, which is the Tower. The Star, beautiful. The Moon. It's an interesting moon. This is the unseen, obviously, down here. And the tears, almost. The Sun. Judgment. The World Soul. And the Appetite. So now we move into the aces. So I'm interested to see if I can fit them all on here. No, I won't be able to. So we have the ace. She's very bright ace. Put my hand here. The Ace of Bees. Sorry guys, my phone just went off. Okay, I'm back. The Two of Swords, Two of Bees. There's obviously a duality, polarity going on with it. The Three of Bees. I've always struggled with the Three of Swords in general. This maintains this sort of heartbreak, because for me it's sort of a mental growth rather than a heartbreak, but it's definitely a Rider-Waite-Smith vibe. The Four of Bees, beautiful. 5. Six of Bees. It's interesting that this 5 is alone. There's no one else in this. It's all internal, which I like. 6 of Bees. 7 of Bees. She looks like she's ready to pounce. She's reaching for something. Is she sending the bees out? I don't know. It's definitely an area of confusion around this one, like the Seven of Swords. Eight of Bees. Gosh. The Nightmare card. Ten of Bees. I mean, this isn't the typical, you know, Ten of Swords, which I'm really happy about, because I do struggle with the Ten of Swords. Seeker for the Page. She's got her flute here, or her piccolo. The Knight. The King first, and then the Queen, although I think they are still read very similarly as the RWS. As I said, I read the book, I flicked through it before I filmed this, so I think they are very similar, they're just swapped around. So now we move into the Ace of Torches, Ace of Fire, Two of Torches, definitely less of a pathway here, but maybe everything's more internal with this. Three of Torches, I'm on my way. It's interesting. The pillars, we see the pillars that we saw with the moon as well, the High Priestess. The Four, we have the Celebration down here. The Five. So this is usually always got 5 figures in it. This time we don't, but we do have the 5 torches, and there is a sense of like struggle and grasping and defeat, so still quite provocative in that way, thought-provoking, I suppose. 6 of Torches, 7 torches, the 8, the 9. This is quite pippish actually, the 9. Although still in this triangle and these pillars we see in the background, maybe a pathway, maybe a ascension going on there. 10 of Torches. That's got a good vibe for it, for the 10 of Torches. I think it's got that, have you taken on too much, trying to keep them burning all at once kind of vibe. So the Seeker for the Page. The Seer for the Torches. I mean, there's a lot less action with the knights in this. Usually a depiction of a lot of action and movement, especially with the swords and the wands. This is definitely a deck that focuses more on a personality type rather than the actual movement or the actual doing. The King. I love the red hair, the curls. The Queen. So are these the torches, or I wonder, these are the seeds, right? The red seeds. Do we have them in? No, we don't have them there. Interesting. Ace of Vessels. 2 of Vessels. 3 of Vessels. I love this. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The 4 of Vessels. Look at this snake round the back. And the fact that his eyes seem to be not blindfolded, but definitely closed in the dark. He's withdrawn. 5 of Vessels. This cord is interesting. I'd like to find out more about that. I will read up on that. The 6 of Vessels. The 7 of Vessels. This is a cool card. It's bordering like 70s psychedelic. I love the colours in this deck. They are absolutely beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. All the same though, although I suppose it's a choice. Lots of choices and lots of possible distractions. The 8 of Vessels. See, this is giving me a 4 of Cups energy, with the cups all turned over and spilt. He's in some sort of cave. We've got the icicles going on, maybe. The 9 of Vessels. Beautiful. Although the cups are down, pointing down, I wonder what this is. Giving back, maybe. The 10 of Vessels. The Page. We still have the fish in the cup, look, up here. Oh, and here, in the bowl. The Seer of Vessels. I wonder what this is here. It's like a heart opening. Part of me hopes not, because that would be quite brutal, but it does look like it's implying some sort of wound or opening. I love this. Have the Ammonite going on. The King. The Queen. Ace of Seeds. Planting that seed. 2 of Seeds. I love that she has tattoos. I love this. I've noticed this a lot actually. There's quite a few figures in this that have their symbols on their bodies, which is cool. 3 of Seeds. Nice. 4 of Seeds. 5. This is so dark, isn't it, compared to the rest? It's gorgeous though. Interesting that there's usually something in the background, isn't there? Something that they maybe can't enter or don't want to enter, or are going on the way to enter the church in the RWS. 6 of Seeds. The 7. This is usually a lot more active on the figure's part. They're nurturing or caring for or harvesting a little bit. Whereas this is more of an enjoying the fact that there's growth there, but not yet ripe for the picking. 8 of Seeds. We see the Feast. 9 of Seeds. Ooh, this is interesting. Like a repollination maybe, if these are seeds from the pomegranates. But we have the Peace. 10 of Seeds. I wonder how Linda has portrayed the snake in these, because the snake appears a lot. Be interesting to see whether it's a, you know, the bad representation of the snake, i.e. being the poisonous trickster, or the good representation, the idea of rebirth. The fact that it's in the 10 makes me think that it's more of a rebirth idea. We have a seeker of seeds for the page. I love the fact that he's got green fingers. He's been planting and he's got green fingers and green toes. The knight, the seer of seeds, and the wings on the heels. Are these elsewhere? The king and the queens. Okay, 2 queens. The queens of seeds. I love this, absolutely love it. So I'm gonna do my best. I've stopped. I'm gonna do my best to shuffle them. I've stopped riffling. I don't know why. I think because I've moved upstairs now and I've got way less space than I usually do, and for whatever reason my decks seem to be huge at the moment. The ones I'm working with are big decks. The size of this deck, by the way, is the same as the oracles. I'm going to have to edge it. Oh, I'm caught. I'm going to have to edge it. Definitely worth edging. I feel like it's not a beginner deck, but if you're used to reading only Rider-Waite-Smith, like clones or based decks, I don't think it would be too difficult to learn. She's given us enough information in the book with this to learn why the RWS, the typical sort of representations, have been changed. And I think it's just enough information, or just enough of a change for you to not be put off by it. It's not totally different. It's not a Mary L or a Margaret Peterson or a Thoth, you know. It's not a total re-education, despite the fact that it is based entirely on a different myth, a different story. We don't have the Fool's Journey, we have the Journey of the Mistai. So I think it's, you could, if you were only going to read it as a RWS, I think you could get away with, you know, spending time with it and understanding quite quickly what's going on. Okay. The cardstock is, it's like a, it's not gloss, it's like a, it's a laminated, I think is the word. It's not a gloss, but there is a little bit of a sheen on it, maybe like a satin. See, I've got really big hands, guys, and I'm really struggling to pick up enough to shuffle with this. I'm going to have to go back to this way. Okay. Oh. So I'm going to pull a challenge, 8 of vessels, and an action, Void. Okay. We've got vessels, vessels, vessels now. Is that bad shuffling on my part? I don't think so. They're all pretty shuffled. It's all emotional. Emotional wreck. So the challenge is the 8 of vessels. Let's read this. See how they read. So this is in the Rumi deck, obviously. Laughter always follows tears. Blessed are those who understand. Life blooms or blossoms wherever water flows. Where tears are shed, divine mercy is shown. So this is the challenge. We have chosen a challenge card. The mysteries. The Mistai stood silent at the entrance of the cave known as Plutonian. This was the temple of Hades that stood within the Eleusinian sanctuary and seen as the place where Persephone and her husband would descend and ascend. An omphalos stone stood at the cave entrance, marking a boundary which only the dead or initiated could cross to reach the underworld. The cave walls dripped with water, which the Melisai collected and gave to the Mistai. They drank the waters and gave some back to the earth, asking Hades for guidance and compassion when they crossed into his world the next day. So, the soul journey. It is time to move on, to find out who we really are. A different level of awareness is calling us and may descend for a time, for it seems that there is something or someone we need to let go of from our lives. We are about to leave a piece of the past behind and have to trust that this is the right thing to do. Abandonment, grief and sadness may be flowing, and anxiety and fear may accompany such times. It is difficult to walk away and deal with the loss and change, but it seems there may be many reasons to walk forward at this time. What might lie in front of us is not relevant just now. We need to create space for our true self once again. Walk on, life always finds a way. So that was the challenge. The action is the Queen. Rhea. So we have another quote down here by Rumi. Let the waters settle and you will see the moon and the stars mirrored in your own being. The goddess Rhea, whose name means flow, was a fertility lunar goddess, a bee priestess who oversaw motherhood. She was asked by Zeus to take a final message to Demeter. Both goddesses had suffered the loss of children and understood the depths of such pain. They shared the grief and sadness and were greatly comforted to see each other again. There was much love between them, which helped to soften Demeter's wrath and anger. The goddess sadly agreed with Rhea's guidance to accept Zeus's compromise, which allowed Persephone to share her time in both the underworld and the upper world. So this is the action. The Queen is a powerful, loving and dedicated priestess who holds the sensitivity, compassion, nurturance and intuition of the divine feminine. She will protect and hold us when we find life is tough and will encourage us to move forward when we are ready. She will give us good counsel. Ask her and she will always reply. The Queen receives messages often with the use of divinatory practices such as the tarot, water scrying and oracles. Most of all, she encourages us to listen to our own intuition and to not be afraid to follow, trust and use it. Divination and dreams will be powerful and informative at this time. We are water, we see. Okay, and the 10 of vessels is our something to avoid. Oh, so we've got a Yoko Ono quote here. So this maybe would suggest that this isn't in the oracles, because the oracles have quotes by Sappho, Marion Woodman. Is it Marion? Yeah, Marion Woodman, and Rumi. You are the water. You are water, I'm water, we're all water in different containers. That's why it's so easy to meet. Someday we'll evaporate together. The day of returning began and was known as the epistrophe. Yeah. The mysteries were completed and the Mistai were known as the epitai, those that have seen. There was now one last threshold to cross. The Mistai had to leave the liminal realm of Eleusis and return back to their ordinary life that now beckoned them. Before they returned home, the Epitai would visit the altars in the sanctuary, leaving libations and offerings in honour of their ancestors. They then bowed and walked back into the world to love life and the living. The soul journey. Deep gratitude pulls within our hearts as we swim in the rivers of spiritual and emotional fulfillment. Divine love fills our souls and radiates out to meet all. Our journey of awe, despair and challenge have revealed so much about our true self. Only when we are able to love and connect with our true self can we fully offer love to others. Joy, peace, acceptance and contentment herald our homecoming. We have completed a cycle and we celebrate. Life takes us to unexpected places. Love brings us home. All we need is love. Okay. Very interesting. So it's not a time to celebrate yet. There's still more to do. Continue listening to your intuition. And the challenge is the fear and abandonment that is coming with the current situation. So I would now perhaps pull an oracle card to go with this from my 3 now entwined Red Seeds oracles. I'm not going to shuffle them, I'm just going to cut the deck. So what goddess can we work with going forward in this particularly difficult time? What goddess will help us to trust our intuition and allow us to keep going so that we can eventually reach this, but not yet. We've got a lot of work to do yet. Phaena. Let's have a look at her. I am Grace. The Spartan goddess Phaena personifies the shining grace within all things. She is the virtue of gratitude in all that is good within the world. Grace derives from the Latin word thankful. Those who act in grace display gratitude in all that they do and all that they receive in life. Research shows that gratitude is associated with a greater well-being, helping people live with more positive emotions, improving their health, build stronger relationships and embrace their challenges in life. Conscious gratitude is the healing practice of committing a few minutes every day to stop, breathe and think of 3 things that we are grateful for. Using a journal, we write down these sources of goodness in our life and reread them before we sleep. By choosing gratitude, we transform our lives with joy and meaning and allow the power of grace to embody us. So the challenge is on appreciation, the gift is gratitude. We all sing about amazing grace. It is a gift. For some people it can come out of the blue, but I know that in my own situation the grace came through incredible vigilance. There you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm certainly going to enjoy working with both the oracles and now the tarot. I think this will definitely be my July deck, or July decks. Please tell me what you think, and if you have worked with Greek mythology, divine feminine energies, I would love to know. It's something that I'm really enjoying working with right now. So yeah, I would love to hear how you have found working with divine feminine energies and in particular Greek mythologies. Please let me know. Thank you all. Love, light and blessings. I'll see you soon.